Welcome back to Attack on Titan Anime Review, Episode 40. Wow, who knew a series I originally started 3 years ago would get this far? Yep, and this is just by sheer coincidence, where second series this year that's an anime review to reach Episode 40. The last one being Fire Force, and as of currently, the next anime to hit Episode 40 is the Seven Deadly Sins. Yes, that is the next one to hit it. Now you might be asking, what could be the next one after 7 Deadly Sins? Currently, it's unknown what exactly could be the next one. Because some basically are wrapping up pretty soon. Yep. Well, you know, I could possibly think of that could hit that next one would probably be ReZero. Yeah, ReZero is possible. Yoshida the Princess probably won't hit it for quite a while. Okay, this episode, I'm talking about the 72nd episode of the anime, Children of the Forest, and chapter 138, A Long Dream. The second to last chapter of the manga. Yes, we have effectively one more chapter left to release, and that's it. It's probably going to come out like not long after the anime wraps up, which that'd be something to talk about that one. Okay, this episode adapts from the rest of chapter 110 and 111, and adapts most of chapter 112, except for, I'd say, about the last, 10 pages of the chapter. Okay, there's a few different things going in this episode. Now, pretty much this whole episode is set at one location. Yes, that's something, well, mostly anyways. The episode starts off with Zeke and Levi, recapping something that basically kind of an explanation of something happened back in Season 2. It gives an explanation of exactly how in the world that Connie's village turned into Titans. Yes, that pretty much gives the explanation for that. Apparently, it was gas. It was I'm sure for anime only, there were people wait, that's the reason why? Some gas that was spread there? But wait, there is an additional flavor to it. What is the flavor that transformed people into Titans? Zeke's spinal fluid. People are thinking, really? They use Zeke's spinal fluid to transfer people to Titans. Yep. Oh yeah, by the way, not the first time Zeke has actually done it, though. He was ordered to do this, according to him. And Levi does give a crap out of him because, basically, he killed an entire freaking village. After chatting for a while, and of course, well, then we have it a little bit later on in the episode, meet with them again. Basically, Levi is informed what happened in the last episode about Zachary's death, and Prox taking over as the premier, acting premier, and thus up with Eren, and mostly recapping something we already know. It's nice that he got informed, which did this happen in the manga too. It'd be something like he's out here in the boonies, and he's like, wait, what? What happened? This one's the very end. Yeah, it'd be kind of stupid. I appreciate the fact they did this. Now, it's only a couple quick scenes, and that's it for Levi the whole episode. And then the rest of the episode is set at this restaurant run by Nico. Yes, we have the Bronze family, the ones basically were there with Falco and Gabby, arriving at the restaurant. This is a nice looking building. Oh yeah, and the girl mentions, oh yeah, the person rest of this restaurant is a Marley captive. Interesting. Yeah, it's Nico. And, you brought other people. Nice. You brought your whole family. Oh, it's on the house. Yep. And he brings the food. And, of course, apparently, Gabby really wants to talk to him about basically possible events of coming to, Paras. So she basically fakes a stomachache in order to go see him. Meanwhile, though, Hange, Mikasa, Armin, and Connie, along with, I don't remember, I think his name, Okusan, I think his name is, the guy who's a Marleyan. Yeah, they show up and they want to talk to Nico. Okay, basically, I got big guests here, we'll talk soon. Well, they go to another room, and this basically it's a kind of like a VIP room with a bar and all these fancy looking wines. Yeah, this is pretty accurate to happens in manga. So basically, I don't remember this. I think it's not Falk. I think it could be Gene. I'm not really sure. He picks up a big bottle of wine. Looked like a nice looking wine. So he's about to drink, and then Nico's like, no, don't touch this. I don't want you guys to touch this. well, I was like, oh, because we're not MVPs? Like, no, I don't want to because of the Eldians. Like, okay, he has this whole rant about anti-Eldian stuff. And the thing is, Sasha was the only one who actually he appreciated. Everyone else he doesn't like because of the way he was raised. And like, oh yeah, talking about that. And then pretty much like, after he takes the wine space, that's when he runs into Gabby and Falco. He goes, oh yeah, we're from Marley, and we're also the warrior candidates. And he's like, what? What are you doing here? And they mention how they got there, and they mention about the female soldier they killed. And he's like, female soldier, you killed Sasha. And he takes a bottle of wine, and he's about to whack Gabby with it, but Falco gets in the way and hits his head. Apparently, it's also, he mentions to him that some of the wine made out of his mouth. So he basically carries Falco under his arm and basically throws Gabby in the room with Sasha's father. And of course, he brings up, though, yeah, this little girl, she murdered your daughter. And he basically forgives her because she's a hunter and they're both soldiers. She was killed via combat. It wasn't like cold-blooded murder per se. And even though Sasha's father forgave her, not the girl. Oh no, not the one who Sasha saved. She really wanted to kill her because they're not you, my friend. You've only known her for like a day or two and consider her friend. Look it up. Mikasa's there to stop her. And Mika said, Armin, take another room. So Nika remembers, oh yeah, the reason why I don't want you guys to drink that stuff, because that stuff contains Zeke's spinal fluid. And everybody's shocked to hear this. Zeke's spinal fluid. And he mentions that this was all Yelena's idea. And basically you have Hans look at Ultra like, I knew nothing about this. Don't blame me for this. Which, okay. So they had the richest mouth out, and of course they also now in the manga it's explained now the next scene which they actually cut from the anime, which this comes completely as a shock to everybody. It felt as though they actually made a cut here for some reason, because then we see Hans and everybody else basically take off their jackets and they're watching Falco. And then all of a sudden we actually have seen the Jaegerists show up with guns, which in the manga, it's a really cool sight to see. In the anime, it's like, what the heck happened? Did they forget to put this moment in? It would have been nice to see this. And it just basically happened where this happens like in another room. We hear this like over here, you hear, well, Mikasa talking to Gabby. And then this happened, or like just happened just all of a sudden. I'm not really sure why they cut this for. It's particularly quite strange because in the manga they're told to take off their jacket so they can wash their hands and get all the spinal fluid off. Which, okay, at least the manga was explained because the anime, they're like, what? Why the heck does Han have her jacket off for? That makes no freaking sense at all. And then the most shocking thing happens in the episode. Eren shows up to talk to Mikasa, Armin, and Gabby. Also, he's cut his hand. Possibly, he's going to turn into a Titan right here. So he just sits down, despite I think he's making this nice table, very bloody, and he says, I want to talk. Yep, and that's the episode. It's a good episode, but I kind of wish they would not have cut the explanation of why in the world the Hanji had to take off her jacket. That was kind of dumb. But great episode, great pacing. I think they did a really good job with keeping that one small moment. Yeah, overall, great episode. Now moving on to the second to last chapter of the manga. And it is something, though, this is the second to last one. Because it's been kind of confirmed that chapter 139 is going to be the last chapter released. Though I wouldn't be surprised if it's released like a week after the anime ends. That we release the final episode, the final chapter of the manga. Alright, chapter starts off basically with the Colossal Titans stopping. And of course you have Falco, who is basically his bird form. Everyone gets off and everyone thinks Eren's dead. Everyone reunites with their families. And at one panel looked like Mikasa looked like she's wearing overalls, but no, it's her Silver Core outfit. Don't worry about that. I mean, the way it's pictured here, it kind of looks like that she's like, I'm hoping I don't get flagged for this. I mean, just a panel. I mean, the way she looks here, I mean, despite the fact, yes, that's a Survey Corps outfit. It makes it look like she's wearing like overalls for like no reason. But so Gabby reunites her parents. Peck reunites her parents too. Everybody reunites their parents. And of course, well, Falco, of course, is now host of a Titan, a flying Titan now. Like, it's a good happy moment. And Annie has probably had the best reunion. She has reunion with her father while Reiner's trying to get up to battle the one of the Colossal Titans. Not the armor one, just a different one. One of the Wall Titans. And there's this shining stuff, basically. And they want to keep Eren away from it, so. And they think it's Eren just walking toward it. You gotta keep Eren from the shiny thing. What is the shiny thing? I don't know. So, I guess Reiner's like, okay. So, by the way that our Eren is drawn here is such a weird looking image. Like, wow, this is Eren. Like, what the heck happened? I mean, I get the fact, yes, he's standing up now. He's not crawling like he was before, but wow, such a weird looking art style for this. It kind of reminds me of the artwork they had for X-Force Volume 5. Yeah, it's very similar. And then you have, well, Annie reunite with her father. Of course, she's like very happy to see him. And of course, well, then we see like outside looks the smoke. And like they have to hurry up because, well, the Aquaman's not affected by this. And of course, the Titans themselves basically are attacking the tower. Like more Titans. Everyone's basically a big battle. And then Reiner starts is another rematch with, well, Eren. Yes. I think this is like the third time, the fourth time they've actually fought. Because the first time, Reiner kicked his butt. Second time in the rematch during the Return Shuhash arc, Eren won that fight. The third time they fought was basically in the previous arc. This is the fourth time they've actually had Titan versus Titan match. And it doesn't get a conclusion here. Basically, they're still fighting. And then Mikasa basically has got a headache. And then we see something really weird, like, oh, she's waking up. And it's the way it was for years, like, apparently, like, oh, I woke up from a long, like, oh, you'll catch a cold. Eren, when? And apparently at some camp. Yeah, like, think, oh, it's just a long dream. A dream that lasted for over a decade. So, maybe this is a note to the future. Possibly. Like, you must be weird. I had just a real long dream. Let's just rest today. We just caught a big fish. Mika said, why are you crying? Huh? Why? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be here. We can't do anything about that. What? Since we abandoned everything and ran away like this. It's 2 months since the war against Marley ended. And they'll invade Pardo soon. We all die, we don't run. Arma is probably looking for us. I may sort of live through hell. I couldn't make up my mind. Between breeding livestock and genocide, just live the rest of my years peacefully. Just the two of us. That was what you said, Mikasa. So, this is basically a possible future. And then we come back to reality, where Eren is basically punching the crap out of Reiner. And him getting eaten by frickin' Titans. Oh yeah, and also, you also have it where Eren tells Mikasa, you'll live long after I'm gone. Ask him, well, you do one thing after he dies. Throw away the scarf. A scarf she's had since she was like a little girl, because she gave it to him. Then she, for the first time in over probably 10 chapters, she puts the scarf back on after taking off, I think it was like 122, 123, like last year. She took it off, and now she puts it back on. Interesting. It's like she's back to the old Mikasa again. Like, Eren is in the mouth. He's like, I'll kill him. Help me do it. Got it, Mikasa. And then she just plunges right into Eren's mouth. And then she sees possibly Eren. And we see like, I'll see you soon, Eren. And then it looks like though apparently she chopped up Eren's head. And then she starts making out with it. I'm like, what? Like, that's kind of gross. Why would you make out with a head? And then we see right behind her is Ymir. Yes, the little girl from the Vision. Like, that's interesting. Yeah, it looks like, though, Mikasa's finally killed Eren. Like, it's weird, though, he went this form, and then basically she kills him, and he just makes it with him. My only guess is the reason why the writer did this, because she's always wanted to kiss Eren. And, well, she finally did. After she freaking killed him. Though I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow restored this. Interesting to say the least. Now, that's a very somewhat weird cliffhanger to end with Mikasa making out with the head of Eren. I wouldn't be surprised if she kept the head after all this is over. Who knows? But next chapter, the end of the series. Yep, chapter 139. It's kind of a strange number to end at. Yeah, I've noticed this sometimes basically when it comes to manga. At times, they end at the most weirdest numbers. Like this series is going to be 139. Probably the only manga I've seen actually a pretty decent number is Naruto, which that ended after 700 chapters. Yep. Bleach ended after 600. Well, that seems like a strange number, and that seems like completely random. It's an even number, yes, but it's a random number to end at. I mean, I would end basically with a big number, but like 686, really? And this one's ending at 139. I mean, Soul Eater ended at 123. Prior to catching up with this series, Blue Exorcist and Black Butler, Soul Eater for quite a while was my longest running monthly manga I actually have read. And as of right now, the longest monthly manga I've read is, I kid you not, Black Butler. Yes, I have reviewed a few months. I probably am going to review it soon because there's been a few chapters released. It is something that this is the longest running monthly manga I've ever seen. It's publishing for almost over a decade. I've never heard of monthly manga lasting this long. Because normally monthly manga I've seen, I mean, look at this one. In the case of Attack on Titan, this is going on for at least, like, it's a monthly manga. I think it's been going on for almost a decade. Yes, a decade. And Black Butler is longer. Almost 15 years. So this is basically the second longest right now. I would say third longest is Blue Exorcist. And I think it's like 100. I think it's like 130 chapters, I believe it is. Let me take a look here. It is at... Let's see, where are you? Blue... It's 129 is the most recent chapter release of that one. Yep. But not much else to say about the chapter itself. I give the chapter a 9.5 out of 10. It's a good chapter. I would give it a 10 because it's a good chapter. But the really weird ending kind of was the reason for that. Okay, so that's it for particular review. Next review is going to be a My Hero Academia manga review. No, it's not the main series. It's one of the spin-offs. Which one? You'll find out next. Okay, to the next video. Bye.